Hello, today we're going to learn how to do alternate side looping and husking using the husking board. This is a husking board, and as you can see, there are many dots where you put your pins inside each dot, okay? So we're going to use the semicircles for this particular tool and the husking board, and see how I arrange the pins. There's one at the bottom of the first semicircle and another one on top right across it, and then alternate pins. You can get your pins from over here. Okay, so for now I'm only using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pins. All right, so I'm going to start with my paper. I'm going to massage my paper to make it more flexible and easier to manage. Okay, first thing I have to do is to make a tiny loop. So at the very end of my paper, I'm going to put glue and then fold it back towards me to make a tiny loop. Press it, and when it's dry, you can see there's a tiny loop in there, okay? You're going to insert that loop on this pin, the first pin right here. Okay. And then you're going to make your first loop by going to the top pin. So that will be your starter loop. So once you get at the bottom, or the first pin where you have the initial loop there, you put a tiny drop of glue using your applicator glue or a needle tool. Don't put too much glue, and then press it there. Now, since you see that the paper's on this side, you will go to the right side of the board, the husking board, and make another loop. Make sure you pull it tight so the spaces are even. Then once you get to this side, the first pin, you put glue and push the paper in there to hold it. Since your paper on this side, you have nowhere to go but on the left side. So again, put your paper like that. Make your third loop, push the paper down, pull it tight, add your glue again here, okay? And then press it, and now go do the same, this pin over here on the right, push the paper down, make sure you're pushing it, then pull it tight, put a glue, press, and go capture that last pin on the left. And then hold it there. Once you think it's dry, you can cut that piece, cut this paper off. Okay. And then gently push it up. Okay, like so. So what you have just done, what I did, I just kind of closed the initial hole or loop that we did. So now you have done alternate side looping using a husking board, okay? So these are more examples right here. So the more pins you you put here, the more loops you will have. I have another one right there. So alternate side looping. Now for husking, it's very similar to alternate side looping, except that there are more pins that you could put inside. There are more loops in the center loop, loops within loops. So to do that, you add more pins like so. Okay, right, and this is how I do it. Okay, I get my paper. Sometimes the alternate side looping is also called husking without a collar. Okay, so that's another name for that. So again, this is my paper. I'll massage it gently. Fold the tip. Put it on the pin at the bottom, the very bottom pin. Okay. And then what you do is you make a loop using capturing this pin all on the middle side of the husking board. So I'm going to go around the first pin there. And then every time you reach the first pin, you have to put glue. Make sure you're pushing the paper down. And then you go to the next pin, which is here. Pull the paper down. Hold it. Add your glue. Go all the way to the very top pin. Pull it down. So there are a series of loops on the middle section of the piece. And once you're done that, then you can begin to do your alternate side looping, we should learn earlier. So you go to the right, capture that. To the left. So these two techniques produce symmetrical shapes, because whatever you do on the right, you do on the left. Very symmetric. Okay. Then you go down here, that's the last pin. Okay. Okay, so now once you get to this part, what you will do is take this paper and then go around all the pins to make a collar. But before you do that, you have to make sure you put glue on the paper. Okay, so see what I'm going to do. I'm going to just take around. It's like I'm putting a collar on the loops. And then finally, when I get here, I put my glue and I end it. That is my husking technique application, right? So I think it's dry. I think I can pull it up. So that technique is called husking. You can see the difference between this one, alternate side looping, and this one. You see there are more loops in the middle compared to that one. There are many things you can do with this one. This is a husking. This is another husking piece. For alternate side looping, you can put them all together and make a beautiful flower like this. You can do alternate side looping and put a collar around it. So a variety of techniques. Okay, I hope this is helpful. Bye-bye.